Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared with
Brian Held.
Brian Held, how the hell are you, buckaroo?
Man, I'm great. We had a great weekend thus far. Big happy birthday to Alicia Dardar over at the Bad Wolf Bar on the West Bank.
Oh, is her birthday?
Yeah, it was. We were celebrating at Alicia Palooza last night.
Ah, now I understand the name.
There you go. Yeah, we were hanging out with the Consortium of Genius, Zuzaku 7, and the Futurenauts. It was a great concert. Had a lot of fun hanging out there. So, yeah, that was been my weekend thus far.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
I've done nothing, so moving on. Let's lay out the show.
There you go.
Because I'm a loser. All right, so we got top nerd news.
Yes.
And you interviewed Faro Kane.
Yes.
We just heard the new commercial, too.
I know.
So we're going to find out more when you talk to him?
Yeah, it's great. He's got a really cool book and a lot of good galleries at his site. Definitely check that out. Skungy will be on.
I was gonna skip him.
No. He's going to tell us all about PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. I'm anxious to hear about it.
What about Overwatch League? Has he looked into that?
You know,
or has he been playing cardboard fishing pole rodeo?
Well, we'll dig into that. But I did ask him to start paying attention to the league. There's a little bit of controversy, actually.
Dun, dun, dun. And then, as always, we'll close out the show with This Week in Geek History. Is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
All right. How about we do Top Nerd News?
Be fantastic.
And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news story. Hey, I finished Kim Richardson's book.
Which one?
The Order of the Black Silk.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. It was
Cool.
fun. It was funny. I mean, it leaves on a cliffhanger, so when's the next damn book coming out?
It should be out soon.
Looking at you, Kim, right now.
Yeah, so
Look at your speaker, Kim.
which character
Write the book.
did I inspire? Do you know?
I don't know. None of them seemed anal like you.
Oh,
so
come on now.
None of them.
All right.
So which one were you?
I'm not gonna say.
Oh,
People
good.
have to guess.
Fine.
There you go.
I don't know.
All right, what's topping us off, Dave?
I don't know. You know, we were going to get into the whole American Gods thing. Apparently, you were talking about how Neil Gaiman might be the showrunner, but he doesn't know about it?
So, yeah, there's a lot of confusion around Season 2 of American Gods. The first season was great. I loved every minute of it. I can't wait for it to come back. Yes, and Brian Fuller and Michael Green, the directors, they were announced that they weren't going to come back, that there was budgetary issues, all this kind of stuff. Now it's coming back saying, well, they are going to contribute. Possibly, we're not sure.
And may or may not.
There was Gillian Anderson.
Yes, on X-Files.
She had said, well, if they're not coming back, then I'm not coming back. And everybody was kind of freaked out. But her character, you could have another actress or actor portray that role.
Because she's like the goddess of media or whatever.
Exactly,
so,
exactly.
Character changed. Moving on.
But now they're saying that she never was intended to come back for Season 2. But the craziest thing is that they announced that Neil Gaiman is going to be the showrunner. And Gaiman on his Twitter was like, that's news to me.
It's just too funny.
So
hey, how do you like your new gig, Neil? What gig?
Right. So, I really... Look, it's a fantastic book series, or book, and I want to see more out of this, and I just wish they'd kind of get their act together. That'd be great.
Well, good luck on that. Hopefully, I doubt it. But here, moving on to some darker, murkier waters, Chris Pratt and Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier there's a possibility he'll be Indiana Jones?
Yeah, Pratt, there's been rumors circulating about that for a while now, but he was tweeting and taunting the showrunners, the film producers of Guardians of the Galaxy, and he made mention of snakes several times. And basically he's like, snakes, why did it have to be snakes?
Right.
And so like people picked up on that, and apparently he's been previously attached to that with Spielberg. And Spielberg has two things he's got to do after Ready Player One, which is coming out in March. Yeah, like 2 more months. One is he's got two things he wants to do. That he has to do. One of them is his personal pet project, which I wish he doesn't do, and he wants to remake West Side Story. He needs to be murdered for that. So like he needs to he wants to remake Indiana Jones, but with Chris Pratt along with Harrison Ford. So Harrison Ford dies. I don't know what. I could see Chris Pratt pulling off Indiana Jones. I hope he walks away from Jurassic World crap because I'm tired of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park's got to go.
I don't know why they're going back. It's just like Chris Pratt can probably pull it off, but I'm going to give two craps about Jurassic World Part Deuce.
Right.
But I would see Chris Pratt as Indiana Jones.
So are you good with them basically taking and sort of rebooting the Indiana Jones with a new actor and kind of taking it in new directions?
I would be cool with that. I mean, look, Harrison Ford, it's like if the actor is cool with it, then I can be cool with it. Harrison Ford is like, we talked about it before, he's going on a murder spree, getting himself killed. He doesn't want to keep doing these things.
Well, Blade Runner proved that theory wrong, but,
And he died in my heart.
Yes.
But, so I could get on board with that, though.
And I don't know. My position is softening a little bit. I had a really good conversation with a producer who was talking about it's not necessarily bad to see things retold as long as there's some sort of spin on it that makes it better, that looks into the human spirit and the human condition in a different way. And I can
reboots.
Yeah, well, I can sort of get into it.
So it's not a retelling, a reimagining.
Maybe so. Well,
talk to me about reboots.
Something you mentioned to me though about Chris Pratt is the
cowboy, ninja, Viking.
What is this?
It was a tiny little blurb. It didn't even have a hyperlink on it in the article. But this is Chris Pratt's next project, and it's based off an Image comic book, and it looks badass, dude.
Right.
They're called like triplets or whatever, and they're all assassins, and they do like retro, like mind foolery or whatever, but then that past life regression, and then they screw with your mind, and you get like three distinct personalities. So they're all called triplets, and like this guy, Chris Pratt, the lead character, he's an old cowboy, a ninja, and a Viking. Some of the other ones are like a stewardess, Army staff sergeant, and then like a florist, So the guys with three personalities that are, combat oriented, you obviously are much dangerous.
Right.
But the rest are, got only one or two, combat oriented personalities. Like one is a playboy and savant, so it's like he can play the piano and drink. Like, yay. But he used to be a cowboy, so he can shoot really good.
All right.
Unless he's drunk and trying to womanize.
Interesting.
But it's a comic book thing. It came out in 2009. It was Image comic books. I had never heard of it until
me neither.
Yeah, and now I got to go find the damn comic book. I mean, it sounds fun.
It's like only like 10 issues out too.
Yeah. So the other thing is that this is something new that we're actually getting from Hollywood. Okay. Something that's not reheated crap.
Let's go for it. I'm excited. Yes,
exactly.
So what else did you want to talk about?
Shanara Chronicles.
Yeah,
I am pissed. Look, they got canceled, but it wasn't really their fault. It's got a high budget. It films in New Zealand. It's expensive. Terry Brooks love him, but I don't know if it's ready, because they jumped from MTV to Spike, but Spike just this like 2 weeks ago became the Paramount Network.
Right.
Spike is gone and has been replaced with the Paramount Network, which so far, they've got the Paramount, selection of movies. So they've been running friggin' Indiana Jones to death all weekend long. So I guess it's going to be like the new Freeform, the Harry Potter Network.
Did you see their Twitter feed meltdown?
No, what?
Yeah, well, just the Spike TV Twitter feed is like going through an existential crisis, and just melting down because it's going away.
Well, and that's the thing is, where is Spike? I liked Spike. I've always liked Spike. They had the whole the Ninja versus Pirates show. That Warrior something. Not Ultimate Warrior. But great movie. Show.
This did give me food for thought, right?
Okay.
Is that are networks so important anymore if all of our content is a la carte? If it's more important for us to see a show like Shanara Chronicles, and I want to see it, I'm going to go find it wherever it's streaming, irrelevant of what network it plays on.
Right.
So,
but wait, if you can't find it, some of these networks have to back it. Somebody's got to bankroll this crap.
Well, true.
So if it's got a high price tag, it's probably not going to get made.
Right.
Dude, like friggin' Amazon. Like, I was getting it for free for a year, and now they jacked $100 out of my bank account. I'm kind of pissed about it. But they don't have as much new content. They don't have as much as Netflix. When I go to Netflix, they've got all kinds of great series. I mean, Amazon's got a couple. I mean, not just a couple. They got a lot, but nowhere near as much as Netflix. I mean, Netflix has so much stuff coming out.
Right.
And so, I mean, unless Shanara gets picked up on some of those, the networks things, I mean.
See, but Amazon's nice because there's certain stuff where you can go buy it.
Yeah, but I don't want to go buy it.
Well, I know, because you're cheap.
Damn right I'm cheap.
But my wife and I watch Doctor Who on Amazon all the time, just by buying the season, and then we get it as it comes, like a day later.
Okay.
So, all right, what's next?
John Wick? Did we talk about John Wick already?
We did not. I've only seen the first one. I didn't see the second John Wick, but now we're talking John Wick 3?
2 was awesome.
Was it?
2 was awesome. They went to Rome, and you get a little more backstory, like the High Table. You like I don't know what the name of this secret underworld organization is.
Okay.
But there's rules. Ian McDermott's in it, and there's rules. And John Wick was given a marker, and he had to go kill someone, whoever had that marker from him that he gave to this guy. And so the movie was it was John Wick, quintessential John Wick, just friggin' just blood, headshots everywhere. It was awesome. But they had a lot more backstory. They filled it out. So now this third one is actually going to take it to the Yakuza, because it's funny, when they went to Rome in Wick 2, when he went to their little assassin hangout, the first question they asked is I welcome you, but are you here to kill the Pope? He said no. He goes, okay, then you're welcome. Come on in.
Interesting.
they have certain degrees where they won't allow you to kill the Pope, apparently.
Okay. Well,
you gotta have limits, Brian.
It's supposed to start filming too. It's got a release date of May 17th, 2019.
Yeah, and the guy who's going to be co-starring with him was in 47 Ronin. That was a good movie.
I enjoyed 47 Ronin.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. So, anything left before we cut out to a break?
I guess not. We could talk about the expanded universe stuff, why they actually rebooted. The guy who is the keeper of the holocron for Disney, the guy who basically chooses what is and what isn't canon. He said the biggest reason they threw out the legend stuff and all the stuff from the expanded universe was the fact that they killed Chewbacca.
Right.
They said fans would be pissed if we'd gotten a Chewbacca-less movie.
Well, it was interesting that they killed him off in the novels because it's difficult because he doesn't speak English to write for him, and so they had a moon fall on him in order to kill him.
Who gets killed by a moon?
Chewbacca does, apparently.
Poor bastard.
Well, Wookiees are just that awesome. You got to kill him with a moon.
With a moon. That's no moon. But no, so that was the biggest reason. Now, obviously, Rebels, the mid-season finale. Well, now they're coming to the last half of season 4 is going to be starting, and Ian McDermott is going to voice the Emperor, and Thrawn's in it. So Thrawn will eventually show back up again.
Yeah, I'm hoping he shows up in the movies. That'd be great. And awesome. Real quick on the Overwatch League, the Dallas Fuel is going to punish XQC for homophobic remarks made on the stream against one of the Houston Outlaw players.
That's funny. Dallas Fuel is DJ's team. He likes them. He likes them.
I like the Houston Outlaws.
Well, you're a DIC X.
Right. But we're going to have more video game news just after these short commercial messages.
From who?
From Skungy.
I thought you meant somebody important.
No.
Damn it.
All right, guys, you're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
In a New Orleans that never was and never will be, airships float high above the city while platoons of clockwork automatons patrol the streets below. In Storyville, pirates, streetwalkers, gamblers, and thieves prowl back alleys in search of their next mark. New Orleans by Gaslight, the premier anthology of locally written and locally produced steampunk poetry and fiction, all set in Victorian New Orleans. Buy it now, available in both paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. New Orleans by Gaslight.
What would you do if God and the devil were playing a game and you had the winning move? The greatest time travel story ever told begins when Professor Francis Kane goes back in time to prevent the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. He blows it, gets thrown in an asylum, sells his soul to the devil, goes back to the beginning of time, takes over the entire world, gets crushed by God, then wakes up with a chance to do it all over again. Except now, he has a 5-year head start. Check out the gallery, stay for the novels, FaroKane.com. Are you looking for a unique gift or geeky item? Then look no further than Silverblatt Design. They offer unparalleled etched logos in glass or stainless steel from your favorite fandoms. Silverblatt Design etches on pint glasses, tumblers, shot glasses, flasks, and more. Having trouble finding a particular logo? Silverblatt Design does custom work and gets you exactly what you're looking for. Professional attitude, great customer service, and high-quality products are available now at Silverblatt Design. Find them on Facebook or Etsy and place your order today.
This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. Follow them on Twitter at TWIG Radio. Do it now.
Welcome back. This is The Week in Geek. According to the voice guy, we are your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. Were you aware of that?
I was.
I think he drinks, though. Our voice guy's an alcoholic.
Yeah, it's all good.
Speaking of alcoholics, it's time for Skungy and his pick of the week.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
You might be an idiot savant.
Skungy, what's shaking bacon?
It's funny you should mention that whole alcohol thing because I literally don't remember how I got home last night.
Wow.
Yeah, you were at the convention center, right?
I was at the Endymion Coronation Ball, and then I went to a friend's birthday party at Pato's, and then I woke up in the morning.
Did you wake up like in the bathtub?
No, I wasn't in the bathtub, surprisingly enough, but
well,
you know, I just
don't
remember how. I don't know. I just don't remember.
I would say things are looking up, but you never know.
Yeah, I was texting him last night. I'm asking him about the segment today, and he was like, "Leave me alone. I'm drinking.
I'm drunk. Go away, Brian." I know Brian's
drinking.
always business. It's always business, Brian.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about, Skungy?
We're talking about PUBG, or Player Unknown Battlegrounds.
All right.
Now, this is a game. It's a third or first-person shooter, whichever way you want to play it. And believe it or not, it's actually a game preview. It's been out on Steam for a while, and it just came to Xbox in late November or December, early December. It is basically the best way I could describe this game is hide and go seek.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and like it's kind of like Last Man Standing too.
Yeah, it's an island, and you drop into the island, and you have to you have nothing. You have nothing in your inventory. You have nothing at all, and you have to find weapons and armor and everything like that. And it's like 99 players or 100 players are on this island, and the map shrinks. Like you have to. As time goes on, the map gets smaller and smaller. You have to get inside of a certain zone or you're going to die. So you basically try to be the last man standing.
Nice.
So it's forcing that confrontation between the players by shrinking.
You can't just sit. A lot of people, I mean, depending on where the zone shrinks to, some people just, sit in a building and wait it out and try to, be the last person standing and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
It is. Yeah. It's like this is literally a phenomenon online. There are like so many different, streams for this game. You can play it, free for all. You can do team based. You can do a whole bunch of different ways to play it. But it's just taken off like no tomorrow, man.
Didn't we talk about this? Maybe it was just me and Brian who talked about it one time. Yeah. But they were airing episodes of this like on like TNT one night too.
Yeah,
it was like teams of 4. Yeah,
it's amazing on how big it's gotten. And the thing is, the game's not even finished yet.
Right.
And that's the one caveat about it on the Xbox. This game is buggier than Louisiana in July.
Wow.
There's a lot of pop-up issues. There are a lot of draw distances. Sometimes the game sputters and stops, and you can literally die because the game stopped.
Lag.
Nice.
Yeah, lag's pretty bad. So, but that's the thing. And the good thing is that it's only $30. So you're not paying like a premium $60 price for a game that's not, finished.
But we have standards here, Skungy.
But it's something that it's actually little, worrying about it because it's a trend that's starting to happen more and more. They did it with Ark where they're releasing games that you can buy them before they're finished. So it's kind of getting into a gray area. What makes a developer actually want to finish?
That's kind of like taking a second mortgage out on your home before you've paid off the first, right?
Well, but this phenomenon isn't actually new. There's so many games out there that you can actually buy into it early and get that beta level access where you're into a buggy game essentially.
Yeah, but that going in, they don't usually sell the beta versions. They give you the beta versions. You sign up knowing.
But now with something like PlayerUnknown, like you can go to a store and buy it, and on the box it says game preview version.
Well, you know what? Hey, at least they're being honest. They're not lying to us about it.
They're being honest, but for the layman, they might not know.
Yeah,
it's something that's a little bit,
Then follow us on
shady.
Facebook at the Week in Geek Radio Show. Keep up to date on all that stuff.
You would be in the know.
So, price and platforms on that, Skungy?
It's been on Steam for a while, but this is it just released on the Xbox One. It's $30. There is no physical disc to it. You can either download it, or if you go to a store and buy it, you're just buying a box with a code.
I can buy it tonight because I actually have a Xbox Funny Money.
Oh, nice.
I do. Well, I'm surprised DJ hasn't been busting my balls to play it, but he's been on Overwatch mode. So, hey, Skungy, did you buy the cardboard fishing pole from the Switch?
So,
tell me about it.
The Switch Labo,
He's mad.
I am like, all right, I don't know what to think about this. Nintendo is literally selling us perforated cardboard for $80.
Well, but
cardboard.
Skungy, you're buying a game, and then the cardboard's an accessory, right?
It's cardboard accessory.
It's freaking cardboard.
But Skungy, you can build a robot. You can be a robot
with cardboard.
With cardboard.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know how well those things? I put standees together all the time and whatnot that are made out of cardboard. They don't go as well. They don't go together as well as advertised, man. There are all kinds of problems when you put something together with cardboard.
I've folded pizza boxes for years. They always work for me. What's wrong with you?
But that's but you have to put tab A into slot B, and that doesn't work half the time. What if you tear it accidentally?
Yeah, right. What if you tear it?
Skungy, never mind.
You think like kids are gonna they're gonna destroy that, and you're in Louisiana where it's damp.
Oh my God, yeah.
Soggy cardboard.
Your fishing pole's a little limp there.
Thanks, Skungy. Dave's done now. So, initially you're not having it.
Okay, I'm back.
You know what? I'm going to give it a chance because whenever it comes to Nintendo, I give it a chance because a lot of times Nintendo will show you something and you're like, that's stupid. And then you actually get your hands on it. You're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Look at the Wii. When the Wii came out, everybody was like, that's stupid. Why would I want to use that controller instead of use a real controller? And then the Wii was the best.
Well, technically, if you take that little fishing pole and you fling it and it hits your TV, it's cardboard. It won't break your TV.
Yeah.
No, it won't. It won't break your TV.
There's a plus.
It actually the fishing pole is weird. Everything is gonna be put together with cardboard and rubber bands and string.
Well, you know what? I'm sure some enterprising person out there will just get some sheet metal and just start breaking out their little sawzall and
Maybe so.
yeah.
But I mean,
buff it down and then you won't cut yourself. You imagine trying to.
Well, but I mean, this
metal
is
cuts hurt like hell.
This is targeted at kids, right? I mean, it does sound fun for kids.
Not really. I mean, it's targeted. I mean, everybody that was in that advertising, there wasn't any kids really in that advertising. It was all adults.
Children, ask your parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna give it a shot, but you are upset that we get cardboard down south.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know how well it's gonna hold up. I mean, that's the caveat to it. It might not, hold up to the test of time and using it,
Well, what a brilliant business plan on part of Nintendo that they can charge you $80 a pop, so when you break it, you'll have to go buy another one.
Exactly. And they've said that they might have it where, like, right now it's like the variety pack and the robot pack, they're like 80 and 9. It's like 70 and 80 for those packs. And they come with the software as well. But they've hinted that Nintendo will sell replacements that won't be as high. The reason why those other ones are high is because they come with the software. So just a replacement for the cardboard, you're still going to have to buy a replacement, but at least it won't be as much.
Yeah.
It'll only be $35.
Yeah, $35 for a cardboard box.
All right, Skungy, you have some homework now. Look, we've got about at least 6 more months of the Overwatch League before we get the finals.
It's just been a crazy week. So
I get it.
I'm getting in. I'm gonna start putting my nose to the grindstone on that and watching it and reporting on it.
Good. Esports reporting is a staple part of Skungy's Pick of the Week from now on.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been voluntold.
Hey, and the Patriots beat Jacksonville.
Who's that?
And right now,
what's the score?
The Phillies beating the Vikings right now.
Holy crap! The Vikings were winning when I left the house.
Yeah.
Last time it was like 21-7. Last time I checked.
Holy! All right, guys. Thank you, Skungy. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, well, you will. You have nothing else left to do because you're fired. Peace out.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time.
All right, guys. When we get back, we're going to have our interview with Faro Kane to hear about the Chronicles of Faro. It's all about his book series that's coming out. He's got a Kickstarter that's happening right now.
Cool.
Yeah, so stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Are you looking for a unique gift or geeky item? Then look no further than Silverblatt Design. They offer unparalleled etched logos in glass or stainless steel from your favorite fandoms. Silverblatt Design etches on pint glasses, tumblers, shot glasses, flasks, and more. Having trouble finding a particular logo? Silverblatt Design does custom work and gets you exactly what you're looking for. Professional attitude, great customer service, and high-quality products are available now at Silverblatt Design. Find them on Facebook or Etsy and place your order today.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Bell Chase Highway today.
You're listening to The Week in Geek.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
Make it a habit, will ya?
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so...
Here's David and Brian.
This is Brian Held with the Week in Geek radio show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. Faro Kane. How are you, sir?
Oh, just peachy keen, man. After that intro, I'm feeling like a champ.
Oh, there you go. I wanted to have a little bit more on that intro, but I wasn't too sure what to title you. Are you an artist? Are you a collaborator who's bringing artists together? What is it that you do exactly?
Well, I consider myself a pox on humanity. I am the writer and creator of the Faro series, having been scarred enough and honorable enough to have lived it, that, you always get enough people that'll tell you the stories are based on them or loosely based on them. I'll be the first to tell you that the stories are loosely built and based on the voices in my head and the visions that they bring me.
No.
I want to, every good superhero story or any kind of comic book story has to have a true little dash of insanity in it. That's what good writers are. But I wanted to get away from superheroes because, to me, if you're going to write a superhero story, why would you ever read an indie where you can go look at the big two?
Right.
And I wanted to, I wanted that anti-superhero story, but at the same time, give those elements that make comic books awesome. Whether you're older, younger. When I remember reading a story, I feel like the trend in comics became dragging you along to a milestone issue, whereas I felt every issue should be special within itself.
You are so right in that the narrative drives everything. We say this all the time on the show when we talk about Hollywood, we talk about all these reboots, and there's so many good stories out there. So what is the overall story of Faro Kane? How did we get here?
This is a great story of redemption. You like the idea of, you can have it all. It's a metaphor for life where you can have all this talent, everything right in front of you. One little misstep or one little bad part of a plan screws up a lifetime, and this guy goes back in time to prevent the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And I remember being a kid and being obsessed with it as a kid, because wondering why, in real life, John Wilkes Booth, who seemed like a movie star, had it all. He had the girls, he had money, he had everything going for him, and he blows it. He wants to kill Lincoln because in his mindset, that's going to make him the James Bond of his time. And in doing so, whether he waited too long or, the war was already over and Lincoln was already a hero, or the South was already broken, there was just some flaw to his plan. And this is, like I said, at the time, this is a guy that anybody would have wanted to have been. Maybe even Lincoln would have wanted to trade places with Booth. And Booth messes up his life. I remember watching that really stupid Brad Meltzer show, Decoded, saying that Booth might have gotten away and they might have used a body double.
Right.
And I didn't want to go that way in the storyline when I was writing about that. I wanted to say, what happens if literally somebody's hiding behind that curtain at Ford's Theater? What are the consequences? And can they be fun? Is it just, Lincoln lives and is the country going to be better now? And how's it going to be messed up? And I remember just playing around saying, what if because Lincoln lives, the South is harsher now and the Ku Klux Klan gets stronger instead of being some sort of myth? Now they're a combined force, working against Lincoln's new America. And that we didn't have a crappy Andrew Johnson presidency of a guy that was drunk. And maybe Lincoln gets colder because now he knows the South is willing to take his head off. And I wanted to play with all that, but use that as a basis, but tell it from the perspective of not just the person doing the time traveling, but making Lincoln like a character, also like a folk hero.
Cool.
People are fascinated with Lincoln, and we all know his death. I mean, there's no spoiler alert in the guy's death. So I said, well, now let's make a spoiler alert. What will change based on him living?
Yeah.
And the best part is he doesn't just pop in and out of the storyline. He's a major character in the story, and our main character is, in essence, his bodyguard and his guardian angel.
Okay.
And the best part is when this story begins, our character fails miserably. All this planning, all this put together, and he gets there literally 5 minutes before Lincoln gets his head blown off. And you think, okay, you got there 5 minutes, just run up the stairs and grab Booth. But then you forget all these factors. The cops are in front of the theater. Booth is famous, so if anybody goes near him, you're going to get grabbed. And I like how all this brilliant planning, and instead of a 5 minute head start, get yourself 5 years. But the character needs to basically get his life destroyed, go through the complete annals of time, and literally become, in essence, the Antichrist, the devil, everything that is believed to be bad, before literally getting crushed by God and starting over again, except now it's 1860 instead of 5 minutes before Lincoln dies. Now you got a 5-year head start.
Interesting. Now, all of this is packaged by just some phenomenal art that I've been looking at on your different websites and social media. Tell me about the artist that you've assembled for this project.
I love going to the shows and finding artists. And this guy, the main artist on here, the guy who does all my covers, Jose Variz, I had originally met him about 2-3 years ago at a convention in Fort Lauderdale. Jose reminded me a lot of the greatest artists, to me, of all time, is Todd McFarlane. he had this style that reminded me because McFarlane's whole thing, he would draw 100% of the page. Bricks in the corner, blood and guts flying all over the place. To Tom McFarlane, every inch of the page was important, and he was the only artist, Jose Variz, that had that same hunger. I remember the first commission I asked him to do, I was like, look, I want you to have my character, Faro, tied up to a post, and Wonder Woman's tied him up, and she looks so hot, and she's voluptuous and thick, and I want him tied with the lasso of truth, and I just want the character to look at Wonder Woman and say, you can't handle the truth.
No, nice.
And I had this idea of how he was going to draw it. Those would be cheesy, but he drew it. It was like the funniest, the most beautiful thing I ever saw. And as a goof, I said, watch me sell it. I flipped the thing for $300.
Wow.
And never thought in a million years I'd sell it, but his talent was that good that nobody cared. It was my ugly face on the cover with Wonder Woman, and they bought it.
Cool.
So, I mean, you find an artist like that, you got to stick with him. And, I feel bad for the fact that, one, I'm putting his kids through college, but two, I'm definitely taking years off his life because I just lock him in a room and I'm always coming up with wild ideas. I want an artist that, there's two kinds of artists. There's one you'll give an idea to and they'll say, well, that sounds a little nuts, but, I'll try. And to me, that's almost 90% of the population. There's always an excuse.
Right.
Jose Variz is that one artist. He's part of that elite 10%. And when you call him up and you say, look, I want to have, Dr. Doom as a Sith Lord taking out the gauntlet from Thanos with dark talent, and I want a Kraken coming out of the moon, and Jose will never say no. He literally will call you up and go, how big do you want the Kraken? I love that.
Nice.
And the conversations we have when we're collaborating art is what makes this business so much fun.
Oh, definitely. And guys, we're talking with Faro Kane, the creator and writer of the Chronicles of Faro. Now, you have a new project that's coming out. It's a Kickstarter titled Winter 1867, The Iron Title. Tell me about that real quick.
Winter is coming. We tell our stories in two seasons, summers and winters. And what I like is in this particular issue now, Lincoln, there's no Congress. Congress has been wiped out. Why? You're going to have to read the books and find out. So Lincoln is pretty much running America like a king. And now he is currently in America. Every little bit of history has changed. And as a history teacher, I love messing with history and giving people a say in it, which makes an interest. So Lincoln is over in London literally having a romance with Queen Victoria.
Okay.
And while he's gone, remember, we don't have the cell phones, we don't have the technology, so anytime you want to get across the country, you got to wire something, or if he wants to travel, the point is you got 6 weeks by ocean. So Lincoln across the ocean is very, very significant because basically Grant is the vice president now. He's Lincoln's second in command, the hand of the king, if you would.
All right.
And when our story opens up, he is murdered by a Native American tribe, which of course we find out is hired actors because basically the Wild West, everything past the Mississippi now has become Western territories, gangster style, where all these significant historical figures now have little sections of the West. And one of the most influential people, of course, is George Armstrong Custer. He's used his money. He's the Lord of California. And all signs are pointing to him orchestrating this wild event that leads to the death of Grant, the death of Wyatt Earp, the death of Jesse James. And we learned that our evil characters in this story are like historical serial killers, where the big rush for them is to take out major names in history to really just be time terrorists.
Okay.
And the idea is that when Grant is killed, you can't just have an election. We got to name a second in command immediately. So I go old school WWE style, and we have a battle royal in New Orleans where basically all the members of the Western territories have to choose their champion. And it's going to be a 10-man battle royal to the death, with the winner being named the Iron Champion. And the guy that they represent is going to be the new second in command, basically running America while Lincoln's off having a romance in London. And, of course, not to be outdone, because the champion, of course, needs something besides the title.
Right.
So they get to spend the night with the Iron Queen, which is going to be a crowned battle between a mermaid and a tiger woman.
Okay. Very.
And no, I don't. You get motivated. I was actually motivated by the Iron Bowl. I was watching Auburn and Alabama. The Crimson Tide versus the Tigers.
All right.
And I remember just thinking it wouldn't be great if you had a beautiful woman representing each side that battled it out in this awesome fight to the death. And lo and behold, the script comes out, the typing begins, and next thing you know, you got a story.
There you go. Now, it's not just all about the stories as well. You have a lot of gallery stuff, a lot of, I guess, pinups and artwork that's also available. Tell me a little bit about that, and how can people find it?
On Kickstarter, it has really taken out the middleman. There's no more, I wonder if people would like my idea, but nobody will put my idea out there. Now you put your idea out there, and you survive by your marketing. And I remember how, being in music when you're in bands in college and high school, how you got to play covers. You got to play Guns N' Roses. You got to play Nirvana. So this way people will listen to your covers with the hope that they'll stay for the originals. And I played that same mentality when trying to get people to look at my comic book, because no ego can sit there and tell you people are coming to read some unknown writer's stuff. But when I was saying, I'd have Jose do some really sick, I love mashup art. And I said, wouldn't it be cool if like the Marvel universe was like Game of Thrones? And I searched the internet and I said, has anybody done Tony Stark as part of like House Stark from Game of Thrones? No one did it, so I said, we're jumping on it.
Nice.
So Iron Man on the Iron Throne, we make these 11 by 17 posters. We sell the original art for a nice premium price, and I get permission from the buyers to flip their art into like just full-on 11 by 17 poster prints. And those are our most popular sales. We've got House Banner and House Stark. We got Alien vs. Predator. We have the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom merged with Empire Strikes Back. That's our best-selling poster. And everything is either on the Kickstarters or you go to farokane.com.
Okay.
And the best part is my mentality was always, look, come and check out our sick art, our amazing gallery. Stay and buy a novel.
Right.
And you know, I always wanted to say was that our art is awesome, and it's mainstream art, or it's us trying to do better than mainstream art with our, like I said, our Marvel mature mashups. And I always say, come check this stuff out. And while you're here, maybe you want to check out one of these novels. You never get offended if they just want the art, because to me, a sale is a sale. But the hope is always that with every poster sale, we'll become a curious reader.
Faro Kane, that's FAROKANE.com. And
yes,
you're on Instagram as well?
Yes. Facebook, Instagram.
Well, Faro, thank you so much for taking the time to tell us about all these projects that you're working on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, my friend.
Guys, we'll be right back after these short commercial messages. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktieTans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends. You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
What would you do if God and the devil were playing a game and you had the winning move? The greatest time travel story ever told begins when Professor Francis Kane goes back in time to prevent the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. He blows it, gets thrown in an asylum, sells his soul to the devil, goes back to the beginning of time, takes over the entire world, gets crushed by God, then wakes up with a chance to do it all over again. Except now, he has a 5-year head start. Check out the gallery. Stay for the novels. FaroKane.com.
Do you have a message or logo that you need the world to see? Then rely on the folks at Gretna Signworks to use their expertise to deliver your design. With over 15 years in business, Gretna Signworks can do commercial and yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, magnetic signs, vehicle graphics and lettering, and so much more. Gretna Signworks also has an exceptional network of suppliers, so no job is out of scope. Find Gretna Signworks on Facebook or visit them at 2125 Belle Chase Highway today.
This is Captain Rex, troopers, and you're listening to The Week in Geek. Now move out.
Welcome back. This is The Week in Geek. I'm your host, D Squared, with
Brian Held.
So, Brian, nice interview.
Yeah, so Faro Kane, man, that guy's a kick in the pants. He's a really cool dude.
Kick in the pants.
Yeah. Yes. We met him at Wizard World, New Orleans, just a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And what I'm going to do is, it was a great interview. It's actually much longer than that. I had to edit it for time.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It's about 19, 20 minutes total.
Geez, Zam.
Hey, I mean, the guy speaks very well and at length. And,
loquacious, verbose.
Well, right. So, I'm going to host that. I'm going to put that on our Spreaker site in its entirety.
Ooh, does it say F words?
No, there's no foul language in there. I told him we were FCC regulated, so he kept it clean for us, and I appreciate that.
I bet even if we did an uncensored podcast, you probably still wouldn't curse.
Such
a prude. You're a prude.
No, I was on the Watch Your Mouth podcast, and although I still have credit, I gave him $10, and I didn't curse enough to make it to $10.
That's horrible. It just proves that we're consummate professionals.
Well, try.
But, as always, though, we want to strongly urge you to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Like us on Twitter at Twig Radio, and the Instagram's The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, once we're off the air, we're going to load this up at Spreaker.com, or you can download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, Google Play, and at WRNO.com. And I just submitted to Spotify tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's like a whole list. I found a whole list of different places that I'm going to try to submit, make sure.
Are you trying to like have your little blurb last like 2 whole minutes of go to Spotify, go to this, go to that?
No. That would just be ridiculous.
Was it crazypodcast.com or all these weird-ass places we get them?
Podfanatic, Overcast.
There you go.
Yeah. But we want you to find our show wherever fine podcasts can be heard.
Fine podcasts are sold. All right, you ready to do this Week in Geek History?
Sure.
Okay.
This Week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future.
Yes! Oh my God!
This Week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This Week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Da-na-na, da-na-na. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right, Dave, first item on my list. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, January 15th, 2001. 2 gentlemen, Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger.
Jimmy Walker is dynamite.
No, these gentlemen launch Wikipedia.
Your wife's favorite, search engine.
The definitive
the
repository
end-all, be-all of human knowledge.
Of all truth on the internet is what I was going to say.
Oh, see, it's that as well. Well said.
Yeah.
Screw the Dewey Decimal System. We got Wikipedia.
My wife is boiling right now. She wants to throttle you, Dave.
That's all right. Tell her to get in line.
Yes. All right, next on the list.
That's a big line.
January 16th, 1995. Premiering with the double episode Caretaker, it's Star Trek Voyager. Or as the guys from the local comic shop used to call it, the 7 of 9 show.
The 7 of 9 show. God, yeah. Was she in the first episode?
No.
She didn't come until later.
Yeah, Jerry Ryan came later. But
Yeah.
That's what.
Shoot, I wanted to talk to you about it last week. Go 90. It's like this app, like Verizon app, where it's got a whole bunch of stuff. It's got the entirety of Babylon 5.
Yes, it does.
I still haven't watched it because I refuse to.
Oh, why? It's a
Screw
good
Babylon
series.
5.
Our friend Jason Carter is on that. You should watch
Your
it.
friend. He doesn't know me. I'm the other guy.
All right. Fair enough.
I know. What's next?
January 17th, 2004. Starring John Heder, debuting at the Sundance Film Festival.
Napoleon Dynamite.
It's Napoleon
Holy
Dynamite.
crap,
Yes,
right.
There you go.
It's because we just saw him last weekend.
We did, yeah.
I really thought that was kind of odd how they had him out there. I mean, Napoleon Dynamite isn't really synonymous with comic books and superhero stuff.
But he's a huge nerd, man.
Well, I know, but I mean, so that's a huge umbrella then.
It is.
I mean, that's a really huge umbrella.
It is.
So if you've done anything tangentially nerdy or played a nerdy character, you're welcome to be a celebrity guest at Wizard World.
They've had WWE people there before, right?
You call them a nerd. I ain't calling them nerds. You do that.
Well,
WrestleMania's coming up, dude.
There
in March.
There are a lot of geeks who are big fans of wrestling.
I know.
Right? But you wouldn't normally
Our friend
think...
Tommy Hancock.
Yes. Don Cooper shoots Wildcat Wrestling all the time.
He does. Danny Flamingo, the Dalmatian sensation.
I know.
See? I know more than you think.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised.
Shut up. What's next?
Let's see. January 18th, 1974. Sees the very first episode of The $6 Million Man. You don't remember that show?
I remember it.
We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
I remember the intro. I couldn't tell you a single episode of what he did, how he did it, nothing about it except the intro.
Well, I mean, he was, kind of like a secret agent type.
The only other thing I know about it was that there was an action figure that you could look through his bionic eye.
Yeah.
But that was from the 40-year-old virgin. That he had he had that action figure in his collection.
No, I used to watch it as a kid. It was cool.
Oh, you're old.
Well, you're only a year behind today.
I'm young. Sprightly.
All right, next item on my list. January 19th, 1998. The Food and Drug Administration.
Yeah! Woo! Oh, that's not a good thing, is it?
Publicly asserts the authority to regulate human cloning and announces it will be a violation of federal law to clone a human without a permit. Which just sounds ridiculous, Excuse me, yes, I'm here for a permit to clone a human.
Was it Dolly the sheep?
Yeah.
The first sheep? I mean, what did Dolly do? I mean, she must have gone on one hell of a tear. That sheep must have, painted the town purple.
Well, it was related to that. There were some Scottish scientists who cloned an udder cell of a 6-year-old ewe to create Dolly, right?
EWE.
Yes.
U. Okay.
Right. And
okay, just checking. I don't need any more clones. I got one sitting outside the studio right now.
I know.
Playing PBS Kids. I'm a damn good parent.
But, of course, when that sheep was cloned, everybody's like, well, when are humans going to get cloned? And the FDA steps in and stop there.
No. We'll just say no right now.
Yeah, but, there's all kind of crazy stuff going on with genetics now, and it's pretty wild
they
west.
can 3D print hearts and all these other things, I mean, it seems like it would, I guess you don't need cloning. We can print the stuff.
Right.
I mean,
it's a matter of time. And the
it would be awesome to have a clone army, though. Just putting it out there. Me think you have the Grand Imperial Army.
Never do that again.
Okay.
All right.
Jar Jar the Sith.
All right. Next item on my list. January 21st, 1942.
Damn.
New York Mayor Fiorello Henry LaGuardia bans pinball games in New York City, comparing them to slot machines and labeling them games of chance.
It's probably because the mafia owned them all.
Probably.
I mean, come on.
LaGuardia will have thousands of the machines busted up and dumped into the ocean. Over 7,000 pounds of scrap material from the machines, including 3,000 pounds of steel balls. The ban continues to 1976.
I'm telling you, it's because of the Marcellos.
Probably. And I was actually playing pinball last night over at Bad Wolf.
They have a pinball machine?
They have 3.
Shut the front door.
Yes, they got Pinbot, Cyclone, and Mousetrap.
Cyclone was that roller coaster one, huh?
It had the Ferris wheel and the roller coaster and all that good stuff.
Yeah, cool.
So we got time for birthdays?
Sure.
All right. On the 16th, John Carpenter, American director.
Yes.
Yes.
And he's a composer, too.
Right. On the 17th, James Earl Jones.
Oh, well, here we go.
Him? Yeah, that guy, yes. On the 18th, Dave Bautista.
He's a wrestler.
He is. He's also Drax the Destroyer. Yes.
He's not overly fond of dancing. So you and he could never be friends.
Oh, all right.
I know you dance when no one's watching.
I dance when people are watching. It's all good.
That's horrible. That's horrifying. Don't do it. Save us.
Oh, let's see. On the 19th, Katie Seagal. She was Peggy Bundy on Married with Children. She's also the voice of Leela.
Yeah, from Futurama.
Yes.
Yeah. She's always been smoking hot.
Jeez.
Even as a cartoon.
On the 20th, the Doctor, Tom Baker. Happy birthday to him.
The only.
Yes. And on the 21st, Gina Davis. She was in Thelma and Louise, Beetlejuice, Stuart Little.
God, you know what? Hold on. Stop the presses.
What?
Remember we talked about Clue like a couple weeks ago? Clue the movie? DJ just got to watch it. My cable crapped out during the whole freeze, and so we had to watch DVDs. I still have some.
All right.
And so we watched the whole Clue movie. And he's like, wait, do we have Clue? I'm like, yes, we have Clue. He's like, all right, after we watch this movie, we're playing Clue.
Nice.
Dude, he loved it. And then it was like, I didn't think it was overly adulty. It worked out pretty well.
No, that's good.
So, all right, guys.
Our guest next week is going to be Thomas Ian Nichols. He was at Wizard World here recently.
Yeah,
and he has
funky butt loving.
Yep, he's got a new movie coming out.
Rookie of the Year.
Living Among Us.
Yes, that actually looks good. Check it out on YouTube, livingamongus.com. I think they got the trailer. It's vampires, and it's awesome. And they get invited to do a documentary, and obviously things don't go according to plan.
There you go.
He's next week. All right, guys. Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
Your new home for Walton and Johnson. News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station.